Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. You may have seen our other video putting the Rola Titan flat rack together. That was pretty straightforward. If you haven't, you can go and have a look at it if you need it, or if you decide you're going to buy one. Mainly for people that do have one or want to buy one. We just think it's really sturdy and it's the go. We put it together. Now the problem was, then we opened up, so open up all your packages. When we opened up the low mount package, we got to see further instructions that actually said to insert these pieces here, right? So they're the extra pieces that come with a low mount kit that you need to insert and slide up, like see the other two. We've put these other two in place here. Mitch, can you go ahead and try and slot that on for me, mate? It's a bit fiddly. Right, so we're going to put this in. Just a matter of lining those up. Two-hand job. Two hands or it's not going to happen. You've got to squeeze it together. That's it, and then lower it down. Well, one's come out, you push the other one in too far. When you're 7, it's a little bit harder. That's it, beautiful, good work, see? And it's a bit hard, but slide it all the way along to that middle part for me, can you? So it lines up with those other ones. That's it, beautiful. Step 1 complete. Now we're just going to pop that end back on. So the next step, you need to take these covers off. If you put a blunt flat blade screwdriver gently in at this end where the arrows are and lever upwards gently, it'll pop like that. And then you grab it and push it that way and it'll come off. And then remove the 10mm bolts and the brackets out of there and just give the area a bit of a clean up. So covers off, bolts out, brackets, clamps off, whatever. Give them a quick clean up, repeat that times 6. So what we've done is, now we've got to sit these, what are these things called? Anchor points. Okay. End supports, what are they called? End supports. Okay, the end supports, 2 bolts into there. So obviously we took all the caps off, cleaned it up. Personally, I use a little bit of silicone around there's like rubber things that have little plastic lugs you can see, the standard Toyota things. I'll put a bit of silicone around those because you really don't want these to leak, and you know, I don't know if I fully trust it. A little bit of silicone's not going to hurt. So they're pretty straightforward. They sit in place, and then there's 50mm bolts that go through the top with a washer and a rubber washer. Now these middle ones, because you've got the back one over there and you've got a front one, and this is the middle one. The middle ones, so I put my silicone, then you put a rubber washer at the bottom, then you put another washer, and then you've got this sitting with the O-ring on top of that washer, and then up in the top bolts with a rubber washer and then a flat washer. I hope that makes sense. Then we're going to sit these on top like that, and there's one screw in the middle there, and just get those started a couple of turns. Okay, so we've got these ones here sitting in place just loosely, you know. We're leaving them loose on if that's loose enough. First time I've done this, but it says leave it loose. So sitting those in left loose. No, this one we've got to do up a little bit more because it is not quite there. Next step, we've got these things. What are these called? What do they call these things? These things? Low mounts. Low mounts. Okay, we've got the low mounts. We pop these ends off here. Just be careful. You've got to press that little one end off, yeah? Press that little tab to get it to pop out, and then we slide one bolt in that side like that, and a couple of these, what do they call these? Slip in and turn these or something?
Drop and turn bolts.
Drop and turn bolts, there we go. 2 drop and turn bolts in each one of those, and then pop the cap back on. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So now we've got these, what are these things called again?
Low mounts.
Low mounts, yeah, the low mounts. And we've just, I'll show you again, just sitting in the holes, right? There's the 2 drop and turn bolts we put in those, and drop them in the holes like that. Do that times 6. Happy days. Let's get those nipped up, put some washers on and some nuts, just loosely for now. Alright, so we've got these low mounts sitting in place on the tray, right? And there's a little bolt sticking out, and at this side you can see we've just sat the 2 washers and spring washer and nuts on there. So same on all 6, and then we're going to lift it up onto the roof of the vehicle, and then we've just got to put the last washers and bolts on. Okay, so we just sat it on the roof Pretty straightforward. Follow the instructions. These are what they call the low mounts, right? These flat things here, right? And basically they've got those two, what do you call it? Slot in and turn things. I don't know, I can't remember the name of them. Whatever, at the top of that, and one bolt at the bottom. So we've obviously just sat that nut and bolt and washer. So the flat washer first, the big one, then a spring washer, and then the nut is just sitting there in place. Everything's loose, right? So where these are, we've got to come in here, and in there's a little hex, what do you call it, security bit, whatever. It's a bit dark in there, you get that. We've got to come and tighten up all those, tighten up all these ones on top. Just making sure we've got all the alignment right before we do, and just trying to give you a rundown. Obviously, you know, instructions are fun. Usually a video might work out a little bit better. So look, I hope this has helped you somewhat getting this Titan rack onto the roof, and maybe we'll go through the steps again. Remember to put these 3 spaces in first, 1, 2, 3. You can do that when you put your platform together. When you put your tray together, you've got obviously 3 mounting points. So this is without using roof rails. You can of course get a fitting kit to make it fit with crossbars or whatever. This is the low mount kit, so it keeps it nice and slim to the roof. Keep your distance to a minimum. So it just uses these, right? Hope you can see what's going on, guys. Hope that helps. Okay, so that's all fitted up. Look, I'm going to be honest, all in all, putting the tray together was probably a 20-minute job. And getting it mounted onto the roof, including removing, you know, the original caps and bolts and whatever, and kind of working out from the instructions, probably about an hour, if you know what I mean. Now, reading the instructions and that, obviously things take a bit longer and it's not quite as clear. There is a couple of things different to the instructions, a couple of slight variations, so that's why I did the video. I don't know if I covered it all, but look, this is all the tools we needed. We did need a T40, because there was some bolts in there that were T40 that there wasn't a tool, so they supplied the end of this tool here. I'll try to get a bit dark in here. Oh, that was a hex with a hole in the middle. So most of the bolts, the front and rear ones were those, but the middle ones were T40s, and that wasn't in the kit. This security bit here tightens up the last part, but yeah, so we had to supply our own T40, and these are the sort of tools we needed. Those final nuts and bolts, they're all 13mm, so a 13mm spanner or a ratchet. We use a 10mm to take the original bolts out of the roof with the little brackets for the clips and that. Philip said to undo the end of the tray again, mallet to tap that open and shut. And look, it fits up really well. You just align it, everything slides around, so it's really good to be able to adjust and get it all in position. And it is super strong, rock solid, guys. Really impressed with it so far. We'll get some gear onto it, and I'll do some more videos and put some photos up, but I don't know how helpful this was. Hopefully this has helped with the assembly of this Titan tray. Well, the Titan tray was in the other video, but getting it mounted using this low mount system, which was a series of steps, pretty simple really.